Hey, it's Andrew Klima, hashtag climate change, coming to you from New York City at 𝐸 House, home of the best real estate firm ever. And this is The Anatomy of an Entrepreneur, the podcast where we dissect and explore what makes an entrepreneur tick. I am so excited for today. Joining me today is Jesse Milleson. This guy is an enigma to me. I cannot wait to get into it. He's an inspiration. Jesse is one of the owners of several OrangeTheory fitness studios in the New York City area, but not just any old OTF. By the way, everybody, we're going to be calling it OTF, shorthand, OrangeTheory Fitness, okay? One of his locations just won the best performing studio in the world.
Let's go.
On Earth. Jesse, how many studios are there?
There's about 1,600 locations worldwide right now.
1,600, and this guy that I'm sitting with is number one. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
You know, it's really putting the member experience first.
Okay.
And that's what our company, OrangeTheory, prides ourselves on, is member experience. Not only do we have the best workout in the world, in my opinion,
yes. But and everybody, look at this man. He's really like lean.
I like to work out.
He's lean.
I try to dabble a little bit in fitness. But yeah, I mean, we really pride ourselves, and not, as a company, but in our studio too. And I think that's what really separated us from everyone else, is putting the members first. Yeah.
And so Astoria was the location that won. Is that right?
Yeah, Astoria location.
Right.
Yeah.
But you are part of more than just Astoria.
Correct.
How many are you in?
Right now, currently 3. So 2 that are open, Astoria and Long Island City.
Where I am a member.
Where we met, and where he comes in and crushes his workout, gets in, gets out, does his thing.
Yes.
And we are currently opening another one in Astoria, but on the Ditmars Street, on the Ditmars location.
Taking over Astoria.
Taking over Astoria. Taking over Queens.
All right. Yeah. It's my king of Queens.
Yes, sir.
Sitting right here. That's awesome. So what makes like you and OrangeTheory like different? Tell us a little bit about that. Like, let's say I'm listening to us and I don't know what OrangeTheory is. Like, what is it that makes OrangeTheory different than all these other fad classes going on?
Great question. So OrangeTheory essentially is a 1-hour full body workout.
Right.
But what we do is we use heart rate based interval training to help guaranteed proven results.
Okay.
So we use science that backs our workout, that helps you burn more calories post workout. And we use technology to track your results, to help you monitor what you're doing over time in the classroom, over your classes, over your tenure with OrangeTheory.
Right.
And then we have coaches that are certified to lead you through the workout, to help you prevent undertraining and help prevent overtraining. So that's my 30-second pitch.
So that's like the sweet spot. Not under, not over, just right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember, I think correctly, I really should know this since I go to like a billion classes a week, but what are the different like heart rate zones, right? There's a bunch that we try to hit in class.
There's 5 zones that we train in, but there's 3 that we focus on.
Yeah.
Green, orange, and red.
Right.
So green zone, essentially we want 20 to 30 minutes, which is 71 to 83% of your max heart rate.
Right.
Orange zone, red zone, where's the magic happens, I like to say.
Right.
The afterburn, we call it EPOC, but to simplify it,
yes.
Afterburn.
Afterburn.
Yeah, scientifically, excess post-oxygen exercise consumption.
Okay.
Say that 5 times fast.
Right.
So we just call it the afterburn. Basically, by getting 12 minutes at 84% or higher of your max heart rate, orange and red, that's going to help stimulate the EPOC effect, afterburn.
Right.
Which is an elevated consumption of oxygen and caloric burn for the next day and a half or so. And
so thus OrangeTheory, shooting for the orange zone.
Correct, yeah.
Right.
For about 12 minutes. You don't need to live in the orange zone. There's no need to get the most amount of spot points.
Right.
Because over time, as you condition your heart, those spot points will come down. But as long as you're getting that 12, aiming for that 12, you're good to go as far as the afterburn effect. But overall, it's just a great workout. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, I think anyone can literally do it.
Yes.
And that's what drew me to it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Having a sports background, I didn't want to narrow my search or my expansion. I didn't want to narrow who I can outreach to just athletes.
Right.
So I wanted to target as many people as I could.
Right.
And whether you're a 22-year-old, athlete coming in, running 12 miles per hour, or you're an 80-year-old individual just getting back into fitness with a hip replacement, I can coach anyone who walks through our doors.
Right.
And that's really inspired me to move on with OrangeTheory.
Yeah, because like before OrangeTheory, I did CrossFit for a little bit of time, which is, I know, probably a little surprising to some of our listeners and watchers. But, you know, I think for me, what I didn't get was the cardio aspect. Like I always loved to run. It didn't have enough of that. And I think that OrangeTheory is the nice balance of like, I'm doing some weights, right? I'm never going to get jacked like Jesse from my, you know, 15 minutes, but I do get like sore. I get the afterburn, right? And then I can also run. I can go on the rower. Like I leave and I feel like I have worked out.
Exactly.
And I think to your point, like, you know, if my dad would ever come with me, I've invited him 100 times, you know, he can do it too.
Yes.
Like it's accessible to everybody.
Exactly. And you're not stuck with there's not one set intensity. There's not one set progression that you're using. And especially if you are in the best shape of your life, you don't have to always perform at your best.
Right.
It's just small improvements every day. And some days you can come in and still have a great sweat. Maybe you don't want to get your 12 spot points that day.
Right.
Maybe you're sore, you're tired, but you just want to have a good sweat, good mental workout. Right. Come in, get a sweat, and leave. You don't have to always hit 12 spot points every time.
I think you hit on an important thing here because like some days I do come into the gym and I'm like, you know, I don't want to do this today.
Yeah.
And instead of like running, because I'm usually a runner, right? Instead of running, I'll choose to power walk. But I just jack up that incline and I leave and I still feel like I did something. It's not like I copped out, I sandbagged it.
Exactly.
Right? Like I still performed.
It's just a different path you took, a different intensity you use, and you can still have an efficient workout, still benefit from it, from power walking, jogging, running, going heavier, going lighter that day, and come back. And when you're feeling like yourself again, bring back the intensity, bring back the exertion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So now that we know like what OrangeTheory is,
yes, let's
kind of like transition to entrepreneurship and like talking about OrangeTheory as a business, that sort of thing. So I said at the beginning, everybody, this man is like an enigma to me because he's crazy. He's a lunatic. He's
pushing the line there.
I mean, first of all, he's one of those guys that you love to hate because look at him. Like, first of all, he's like an attractive dude. If you're listening, you can just hear it in his voice, right? He's jacked, he's muscular, he's driven, he's successful, and he's nice. You know, when people are like that, you're like, what the hell? But tell me a little bit about your story. Like, what got you to OrangeTheory? What's behind the man?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. I mean,
it's true though.
I appreciate that. And it's definitely pumping me up over here. So thank you. It all started with sports, essentially. I think that's what got me into the mindset, into the mentality, and into my fitness journey, really. Growing up, I wasn't the most athletic kid.
Really?
No, I was not. I just liked being outside.
Okay.
I knew that, liked being outside. And while I was being active, I just fell into sports. I fell into baseball, soccer, just trying out what I liked, and then got into basketball, and I stuck with basketball. At first, it was just fun. Got me out of the house. It was a good way to help me stay motivated and have something to look forward to. And as I got into high school, that's where the thought of I can do something with this. I can become a college athlete. And at the time, it became more as in the front of mind as a possibility to be a part of something that's bigger than myself.
Okay.
And once I started to learn the trick of the trade, learn my athleticism, and I say learn my athleticism because I'm not naturally.
I like that.
Yeah, I learned it and it worked it. And I definitely, it took me a while to find my niche and find what I liked and what I didn't like. And football and basketball is where it led me to who I am, what I believe in, the mentality, the mindset of what I do with my businesses today.
Okay.
Not to get too, emotional and deep, but
we're going there. Here we go.
We're here. We got to make sure, we give it our all. And that's what I do with my daily lives. And when it became more of a way to get out, it was a way for me to escape what was going on at home.
Okay.
So that's how it started going on with family drama, and then at one point became to a part where I was homeless, where I didn't.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, many people don't know that. I don't share that.
I don't know that.
Yeah, they didn't share that. But as I was playing sports, and some of my friends at the time didn't know, I was homeless from time to time.
Wow.
Whether it was whether it was sleeping at a park for a night or two or staying at a friend's house for a few days.
Wow.
I just knew sports was my way out.
Okay.
And that's where I started to cultivate that drive to be a part of that, something that's bigger than myself.
Whoa.
I did not want to settle for what was given to me. And it still gives me goosebumps talking about it today. But, and that's what started this whole fitness journey in my story, in my experience.
Wow. So one thing I know about you is that you talk about mental toughness within the studio. So now by the way, I'm like completely mind blown here because I'm fine. Thanks for letting me know prior to us starting recording. He's like,
I know. I was like, should I hold it in? Or should I?
No.
Like, you know what?
Let's do it.
It's my story, and I'm not ashamed of it by any means.
No.
I think it makes me who I am. And I've been coaching for so long. There's there's friends who know my journey, but they don't know that side of it. And they don't know that I was adopted when I was 16, 17, and moved on from there. And
moved on from that.
Yeah, moved on from that.
So how does that mental toughness play into, like, I assume that mental toughness started then, right? And now it's even bigger than you. And one thing that I love that you say, I don't know if this is really mental toughness, but I say it to myself on probably a daily basis, is that how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, sir.
This is one of your quotes inside the studio. And I literally, it doesn't matter if I'm walking down the streets of New York City or if I'm on that treadmill, the moment I want to quit, I say to myself, how you do anything is how you do everything. And then I either like pump up that treadmill or I say, quit your bitching. And I just
here we are.
Go a little further, right?
Exactly.
So in the business world, like in growing these studios, like how does that all contribute to, like, how do you use this mental toughness to grow the business? What part of Orange Theory do you think is your best strength? Like as an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm adaptable. I think there's always a plan. And with opening up studios, we always have like a set date or when we're going to open up or something happens, construction. In the classroom as a coach, you have a template.
Yeah.
And it sometimes, most of the time, doesn't go as planned
right.
when you have 45 people working at once.
Right.
So I think it's one of my strengths, being adaptable to what comes my way and finding a solution. But as far as the mental aspect of it, I always, when I first started as a sales associate, I always wanted to be the hardest worker in the room. Whether I was playing sports, you'd have to carry me off the field. I wasn't the most athletic. I might have not been the fastest or strongest, but I'll be the last one on the field. You would have to carry me off on a stretcher. And that was my mindset.
So like the grit.
The grits, yeah. And always wanting to do my best and knowing that when I left the studio, left the field, left the room, that I gave it my all. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Exactly.
And no matter how big or small, those small things compound over time. When it's something that may not be big in the moment can come back and be big as it compounds, as you condition it over time.
Right.
Mentally, thoughts, little actions throughout the day. And that's really carried over to Orange Theory as I started in sales. That's my claim to fame, actually.
Yeah.
Is pre-sales sales. And
tell us about that. What does that mean?
So when it comes to opening a studio or just being in a studio and you're part of the sales team, the front desk, is that when you have all these leads and we have these leads that we acquire, you have to turn them over to members. Okay. And that's where Orange Theory in our studios, we pride ourselves on, is giving that top-notch experience. Right. And getting in the studio, showing what we have to offer and how we can provide that best workout experience. And when we do that, we're able to create lifelong members, loyal members. Right. And when we get into the studio where my coaching comes out, when I enter coaching, is I'm still in a sales mindset. It's like I help people, I inspire people to find their why. That's, I'm in the business of changing lives, but I got to find their why first. And that's how I'm going to find out why they're here. That's how I'm going to show them why Orange Theory is going to help change their lives or help accomplish their goals that they gave us in the beginning. Right. And that's what I pride myself on, finding your why, what makes you tick, what's going to push you, what's going to help you get up at 4 a.m. and run 10 miles per hour, 12 miles per hour, right? So, and it just—
That's so interesting because like myself, and this is why I started this podcast. This is why I love having you on, because I approach Orange Theory as a workout.
Yes.
And hearing you talk about it the same way I may talk about real estate with my leads, right? It's like almost as mind-blowing as you being like, oh yeah, by the way, I was homeless. Because it's like that different lens that you're looking at this entire business with. So it is a business, right?
Yes.
And you're saying, okay, these people are coming through our doors. Now, how can I convert them? Like how do I acquire this customer and then make it a lifelong customer?
Yeah.
So I think that for those of you that haven't had the honor of taking a class with Jesse yet, and I say yet because you need to take a fitness class with this man, because he is motivational. And I think it's more than the motivation. I think you got to the heart of it, that from my experience, what he and other coaches kind of in Jesse's ownership group do differently than the other coaches within Orange Theory is they take the time to get to know the individual.
Exactly.
And would you say that that's part of the reason that you're so successful at sales conversion?
That's so spot on. And that's exactly why we're successful. I mean, the sales process is so thorough. We get down, and the questions we ask are, what are your whys? Why are you here? Not only the why part, but to get a little more deep with injuries, restrictions. Why haven't you obtained your goal so far? What's holding you back? What are you looking for? What are you looking for as far as a fitness concept goes? And why are you looking to Orange Theory?
Right.
What have you not found in other fitness concepts or other fitness or other gyms that's lacking that you're looking to find in Orange Theory?
Right.
And it's from the moment we walk through our doors, we smile, we make them feel welcome. They're not just another lead. They're not just another another member. They're a member that's going to be a part of this community that we're building and we're cultivating here. And anyone's welcome to it.
You know, it's interesting because some of our listeners may or may not know, I used to teach middle school, right? My first degree is in teaching.
You like the Renaissance, man. Like, don't you sing opera as well?
I do.
I play the piano.
Yeah, I do.
That's awesome.
So you opened the can of worms. So yes, music ed was my first degree and vocal performance. So I taught middle school course for 2 years.
Okay, great.
To 435 middle school kids.
Wow.
It was amazing and horrific all at the same time. And before I knew that I was going to like love you and like be a Jesse member for life, Club Jesse, one of the things you did during the first day of class is way back when Long Island City opened, right, is there's 36 members. And by the end of class, Jesse goes around the room and he names everybody by name. He goes, boom, 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 all 36 people.
Yes, sir.
And that's when I knew it was like, this is my guy, because I used to do the exact same thing on the first day of school, at the end of the class, at the end of that 45 minutes, same idea.
Yeah.
I went around the room and I had memorized everybody's name. And it's how you build a tribe for life.
Yep, exactly. It's how you build a relationship. I mean, and also too, to get to know your members.
Yes.
Like this, again, not just, okay, great job, Andrew. It's like, hey, Andrew, great job of picking the 25 pounds. I know you're trying to build some muscle mass. Right. I know we're trying to build some strength.
Right.
Now, he knows what I want. The coach knows what I want. They're going to help me get to that goal and help me accomplish it, take a little step closer. Right. Those small increments, small improvements every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, and like Molly, my wife, she's like pregnant right now.
She's awesome.
Last time she was pregnant, she went to Orange Theory up until the week before.
Yes.
Right. And I think one thing, just noting on this kind of topic, you were saying like tailoring it to the individual.
Yeah.
The other day I watched you come up and give her a whole new template.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, you can't do this specific motion. Here's another one that you can do. That's the exact same, let's say like muscle group, but it's something that you can do while you're pregnant. And boom, like right on the spot, you tailored that exactly to her. Yeah. But like, that's, I think, how you're retaining and really retaining the customer. And then they become an ambassador for you.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's a lot of our leads are referrals. They come in and they're referrals and they say, you got to try this workout. Coach Jesse or Coach Doug or whoever's coaching at the location, you got to try this workout. And they'll be a little bit intimidated at first. So they might have a bad experience at another fitness concept or the gym or the big box gym where it's intimidating. They don't know what to do. Right. And their friend is like literally breaking down the workout. Oh, it's already tailored to you. You can go at your own pace. They're going to give you instructions. I always say when I have a new guest, I'm like, I do all the thinking, you do all the work. Fair enough, and it just clicks, and they love that. So
yeah.
But going back to like making those options or creating those options for members, whether it's a restriction or someone is going through a pregnancy, it's you can still get a great workout in.
Yeah,
and it's about them. It's about the member experience, about their journey, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it with people like you and Molly. That's been lifers from the start of Long Island City's opening.
And to your point, like how you grow your business through referrals. I mean, not to like toot my own horn here, everybody.
Toot it.
But like Molly's brother, 2 or 3 people within my building.
That's right.
I have converted to the tribe all through referrals. So is that really your, like, how do you guys market? Is that really your biggest marketing effort? Is members spreading the word, or do you do other things? Like, how do you get the word out about OrangeTheory?
We do a number of things. I mean, in the beginning, when I first started out, it was a lot of guerrilla marketing. We would go around.
Nice.
Yeah, we would go around. For example, new studio would have orange bikes, and we would put it around a pole or something, or put it around a post, and that was like a signal, hey, there's an OrangeTheory coming.
Got it.
Or we would do something fun where you're in an orange morph suit. And I've had my fair share of orange morph suits where you wear one, you may run a marathon, or when we're having an event like a food market for the weekend, you put it on. That's like, okay, what's the orange man? Create the buzz.
Right.
OrangeTheory grew really fast, and we use social media marketing where they acquire leads, or when they go to our website at OrangeTheoryFitness.com, they can click on their home studio, what's in their community, and then it sends it to the studio. So that's huge. But I think we were growing so fast. We were opening studios so fast as a brand, as a company. We wanted to make sure that we were taking care of our members. And the founders really wanted to hone in on that member experience. As we grew and as it started to talk for itself, the brand, we wanted to make sure that not only that as we are growing fast, that we want to make sure we're providing that top-notch experience as well. And that's where the referrals come into play. Yeah,
for sure. So apart from like the sales aspect, what other parts of this business, like tell us more about your day-to-day with the ownership of this brand. Like, what do you do? Like, what are challenges for you? What are things that you work on within this business of OrangeTheory?
Yeah, OrangeTheory. What the nice thing about my position as owner is I have a great team.
Yeah.
And we have the best team in the region, in the country. They care just as much as the next person.
Yeah.
And also we have our strengths. We have our regional team. We have a regional manager. We have a head coach. We have a studio manager, helps with the front desk. And to help delegate that and to make sure that it's the right fit. I think my partners and I, we really look for people, we look for personality. Okay, we're not just hiring just to have you on the seat and just to call leads. We want you to be bought into it, be bought into the vision, be bought into the mission, be bought into the goal that we're trying to do here. And that's creating a community for the members, for people coming in. So, I mean, I can't take all the credit because we have a great team. I mean, I'm just excited to be a part of it. But I can wear many hats. I can, sell. And that's the unique thing about me is not only am I an owner behind the scenes, I'm an owner on grounds when it comes to coaching. I've done everything under the sun. I've done a regional manager, head coach, sales associate at the front desk. I've saw over like 3 or 4 studios at once. I was a head coach at three studios. I was a regional manager at 3 studios. From the ground up, I've done it all.
So do you think that ground up mentality, like the Walmart brand always hires execs through the brand. Do you feel like the fact that you have kind of worked in every single role in the OrangeTheory, has that contributed to your success in some way in identifying like, oh, I know that Sophia is going to be an amazing, whatever her job title is, because I've been there, right? Like I see that this is made for her. Like, do you think that helps?
Absolutely. That's a great actually example because Sophia used to be a member in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg. She used to take my class. And when we were looking to hire, and she was looking to work for us, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a great fit. And it was, and my partners loved her. And I was like, I knew this was gonna be a right relationship for our business, especially in Long Island City. She's done amazing things with the studio. And now she's expanding. So for example, she's kind of took on the same path, was a member and then became a sales associate, became a manager. Now she is a regional manager for Long Island City and Williamsburg, and helping Williamsburg grow their location as well.
Yeah. So really, yeah. So it sounds like because you have had the experience in all these roles, you can see who would be good in them.
Yes.
Which I guess probably also helps you from the business side, right? Like identifying and retaining your employees too.
Exactly.
Because I have to imagine that is a real struggle for any small business, right?
Small business, exactly.
But especially like the fitness studio, I could imagine the turnover would be like huge.
There's a lot of turnover because it's not a career.
Right.
That's one thing. So that's expected.
Right.
But I think what we do differently is we create that atmosphere for them to be successful, to thrive, to grow within the company with their time here.
Right.
And we also do have like a lot of performers that perform in Manhattan. So we totally understand that. We do our best to work with their schedules in and outside the studio.
Right.
But with the time we do have them, I think our staff really buys in, and that from the ground up. I mean, we have a great manager. We have Constance at Astoria, who loves hiring members because they are bought into their product already.
Right.
And they already know the product and they can sell it in their own language and their own experience too, as well. So it's really a team effort. It takes a village to raise one person.
Customer loyalty is huge, people.
It's definitely huge. And the experience and the atmosphere for not only the members, but for your staff as well is huge.
Right. And I mean, like, because I wear that's the only t-shirt I ever wear. If you see me anytime, I have on some version of a climate change, t-shirt on, whether it's the little one. This was actually suggested by Mr. Ryan Serhant himself. He said, hey, when you wear a blazer, if it's all big letters, you can't see the climate change. You should have it be small enough that when you wear your blazer, it's right here. And I was like, you, sir, are a genius.
Thinking on your feet, right? Yeah.
But when I'm in Battery Park City, people are shouting, hey, Andy, climate change, blah, blah, blah. They're your tribe. They're your people that expand things. So, all right, really interesting. One thing I definitely want to make sure we talk about is your insanity.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know you and I share a love of David Goggins.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right? And grit and we already talked about mental toughness.
The trenches. And
yeah. So I know that one thing you've done at least one time, and then a little additional foray into it recently was the 75 hard.
75 hard challenge.
Which is another whole thing.
Yeah.
But I just basically want to talk about your insane ability to just do these mind-blowingly difficult things to somebody like me. I wouldn't even attempt it. So tell us first in a nutshell, what is 75 hard? Just so our listeners can understand just how insane you are. Go ahead.
75 hard, there are different daily tasks, requirements that you got to do every day. And I'm going to start off with the ones that I think they're the least challenging, because I know if I say the first one, I'm going to lose all of you. So we'll start off, for example, you must work out 2 times a day for 45 minutes at least. And
that's the easiest one, everybody. If that's the easiest one.
Okay,
go ahead.
I mean, and there's other challenges, all to each their own as well. But 2 workouts, 45 minutes a day. 1 has to be outside. It can't be consecutive. So you can't do a 45-minute workout inside the gym and then go on a 45-minute run.
Nope.
It has to be not inconsistent, but not where it's in your favor.
Right.
And it's also if it's raining, snowing.
Oh, well.
At your own discretion, you got to do it. Yeah. Right. So, and I've definitely had my fair share of runs in the snow, runs in the rain. But I had to get it done. That was part of the goal. So that's one of them. Drinking a gallon of water a day, which is surprisingly, I thought I was easy, but other members
I drink a ton.
Yeah. So gallon of water a day, which is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So that's a whole, it's bare minimum. So 1 gallon of water a day. And then also you must follow a diet. No cheat meals, must follow a diet, no cheat meals. It can be anything. It can be just a calorie diet you're following, paleo diet, whatever you're following, you have to commit to it for 75 days. No cheat meals. You can't veer off your diet.
Right.
So that's the diet portion. Now, the other one is you must read a book, 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day. Just doesn't have to necessarily be self-help, but it's going to help you advance in your career, help advance your life, mentality, emotionally, spiritually, 10 pages a day. And then the fun one.
Yes.
Is no alcohol for 75 days. Not a drop of alcohol for 75 days. Yeah.
I'm glad you say that for the end.
I do, because every time I say the beginning, they're like, oh, I'm out. I'm good. I'm not doing it. So, I say it for the end because that's where I lose a lot of you. So no alcohol for 75 days. Yeah. So you do those tasks every day. And that's for the first 75 boot camp phase, or 75 days.
Yeah.
Which was great. And I know there's a lot of physical part of it, but for me, what it drew me to it.
Yeah. Why did you do this? Seriously.
So this was right after the lockdowns with COVID happened. And I got really too comfortable with, I took lockdown as a way to just enjoy myself, as far as not being so hard on myself, as far as that I'm not working out, not eating right, not following a diet. So I was like, and no one expected it to last, shut down this long. So I got carried away with it. And then I just couldn't find my rhythm. I was like in my head, I couldn't get my momentum back. And I came across a social media post on Instagram with 75 Hard. And once I was so drawn to it. I was like, I'm going to do this.
Okay.
And it was like a last minute decision. It just on the spot decision. And I did it. It was during my birthday into summertime. And it was such a profound
And ladies
experience.
and gentlemen, this man likes his mezcal.
Oh, I love mezcal.
Yes.
I can drink mezcal like water.
Yeah.
Give me a gallon of mezcal. But I love my mezcal. But it was just a great experience to see how I was going to respond mentally. Physically, I really enjoy putting myself in uncomfortable situations. I do enjoy intentionally putting myself in situations to see how my mind and body is going to respond and see how far I can push it. And I'm the most alive and stimulated when I'm doing stuff like that. And finding out how far I can push that uncomfort zone.
So what was like one of the biggest moments when you're like going to break? During that, do you remember a time when you were like, I am just done. Screw this. I don't care. It's day 20. Right? Exactly.
I think the part is where I was also coaching like almost 30 classes a week.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So not only I'm working at 5 a.m. to about 10 a.m., then I'm going back from 4 p.m. to about 8 p.m.
Right.
And so I'm waking up at 3:30 a.m., going to do a run an hour before my class, and then go coach my classes, and then go do my workout, and then go coach another set of classes, and just being mentally, physically exhausted, and honestly putting me in a situation to find out why I'm doing this. Like, what am I trying to accomplish? And being in those moments where I'm depleted, I have nothing left in the tank. That's where I found my why. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself in these situations?
What was the answer?
The answer was like, you're an idiot. No, but my answer was that it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's like, I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. And I thought that I want to live, breathe it when it comes to discipline, to mental toughness.
Okay.
And then I enjoy finding out how I can push that and how I can implement that throughout my routines and throughout my day-to-day life experiences. And the why is that I'm happy in those situations.
Interesting.
And it's weird. I'm bored when I'm comfortable. When I'm comfortable, I'm twiddling my thumbs. I'm scrolling on social media. I'm in my head, like, what's going on? In those situations, some of my best ideas. I'm 4 a.m. running. It's raining outside. I'm like, oh my God, I can do that with this situation or this problem. I find out these reasons. So the why is just that I enjoy finding out how I can push myself, how far. And it's actually paid off.
So many questions.
Yeah, I know.
Because I just don't. Okay, you lose me at get up at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that knows me knows that the moment like my eyes open, I don't quit working until the end of the day. Like, I'm a very hard worker.
Absolutely.
But man, do I love like to rest and sleep. Like, how do you even? Are you conditioned? Are you the type of person that can survive on little sleep and you just like, oh, it's no big deal to me? Or like, is that a struggle to like get up at 3:30 a.m.?
It's definitely not a struggle.
Okay. So you're blessed in that way.
But I do take my naps. So I love my 1 hour naps. So I can't go wrong with taking a nap here and there, power naps. And that's more like the mental part of it. Where if I take a 30-minute where I'm just like, put my phone away, lay down, put something over my eyes, just like a blackout 30-minute, 1 hour power nap. It takes you a long way. So that's something I've definitely learned to utilize during those types of situations.
So you're like, I don't have a problem getting up in the morning. No big deal.
No.
It was more about like you're trying to do this to expand your horizon, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to settle.
Right.
I don't like settling. I don't like leaving something on the table. Because there's something that I going back to David Goggins, it's like, I don't want to look back and realize, oh, I could have been great. If I just done this for one more day.
Right.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
How you do anything.
So every single day. And again, they compound over time. Those small wins, those small actions that you're not doing, that you're unaware of, can definitely compound over time. And I was the happiest, to be honest, when I was doing that challenge. Physically, it was like exhausted. Mentally, it was like, what's going on? Where's my mezcal?
Right.
But after I was just the sense of accomplishment that I was able to not only put myself in it, but to complete it, was very overwhelming. And I was just proud of myself. And then it carried over to my coaching.
Of course.
I was able to communicate that to my members, to this team, to the relationships, to my family, was great. And it's not all physical. It's all like, it's like mental. It's like 80% mental. In my opinion. It's always mental.
It's always mental.
Yeah. The mind arrives at the destination before the body.
Right.
And when you have your mind right, your body will take care of itself.
I think that the discipline and the mental toughness is something that is the anatomy of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yes.
Right? Like you have to expand past your comfort zone in order to be successful. And I think that's so, and I guess probably you see this a lot in coaching. So many people are comfortable being comfortable.
Absolutely.
They love it.
And they don't know. Sometimes they don't even know that they're on autopilot.
Yeah. No, I recently had a friend that said to me, like that they pushed themselves during their run for the first time ever. And they're like a runner of 10 years, right?
Yeah.
But they had always just been running under their potential and didn't even realize it until someone said like, why are you sandbagging it? You know?
Absolutely.
And I think that so many people go through life just kind of floating through. And that's, I mean, whatever. If you want to do that, that's fine. But you're saying, what I hear you saying is, I want something more.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong. Like people talk about balance and I completely understand that. I talk about, well, how do you balance your, and some individuals like the balance, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I like going all in. I like buying in. I like putting both feet in the door. And that's just how I live my life. And that's how I go. It doesn't mean that they're any less of a person or it's just how I go about it. It's my values, how I'm in alignment. And when I found that, I was most happy. And going back to individuals just kind of being comfortable.
Yeah.
And once they hear something that resonates with them, and for example, for OrangeTheory, they're always using 7 miles per hour.
Right.
There's no way I can go above 7 miles per hour. And now they're doing 9 miles per hour, doing sub 8-minute 1 mile challenges, and just doing things they thought they would have never done before when it comes to fitness.
Right.
And it's all basically just got to dig deep. Just got to dig deep.
Right.
And when it comes to being an entrepreneur as well, finding out your why.
Yes.
Because when things get tough, when your plan doesn't go as planned, when you're being challenged, when the obstacles are staring you in the face, how are you going to respond? How are you going to react? Right? Are you going to let consume you and just say, throw your hands up, okay, I can't do it? Or are you going to dig deep and find out what you're truly capable of? And 10 times out of 10, you find out there's a lot more in there when you find it.
Right. And I think that understanding what your customer also is going through, putting yourself in their frame of mind, right? When you're saying, how do I coach this person? How do I speak to someone who's comfortable being comfortable? How do I tell my, landlord that they should accept this tenant? We're doing all these things every single day. So we're the expert in it. We're used to pushing ourselves. We're used to doing all these things. I think it's really important to take the time to listen and hear what that person's experience is.
Absolutely.
Right. Maybe I'm sure you've experienced this with coaching, maybe that's 7 miles an hour for them is a huge challenge. So you let them kind of get used to that. You let them simmer in that for a moment before you take them further.
That's their baseline, their new baseline.
Right.
Trying to find
you say it all the time.
Yeah. So that's their baseline. So again, whether it's 6 miles per hour or 12 miles per hour, whatever your baseline is,
right?
Find that out. And how can you push that little by little? It doesn't have to be.
How do you push yourself little by little?
Oh, that's a great question. So what I do mentally, I like to learn. I like to learn new things that I'm either familiar with when it comes to fitness and the human anatomy.
Right.
So, for example, I'm taking a new course right now on exercise sports science as far as corrective exercises go.
Yeah.
So helping someone with maybe an injury or restriction. and then also taking another course or another certification on nutrition. So I love expanding my mind and finding out new things that I can implement when it comes to like my profession, things that I'm not familiar with, which no one likes to do something they're not familiar with. It's sometimes your ego gets in the way. It's uncomfortable, the uncertainty. So what I do is I try to learn something. If I don't understand it, instead of judging it, I change that judgment into curiosity.
Nice.
I'm trying to be curious. Nice. And that's how I learn when things that I'm not familiar with. Physically, when it comes to my workouts or it comes to my diet and things that I know that I'm good at, I always check in with myself about every 6 weeks and ask myself, when's the last time that I've changed something up that's put me in a situation that I'm not familiar with, whether that's an exercise, whether that's a training program.
Interesting.
Or even with OrangeTheory, when I'm coaching our members, I always try to find out how can I say something differently, not just saying the same 1-2 one-liners, and find out how can I kind of motivate them in a different way instead of just saying the same thing. You can do anything for 30 seconds. It's like,
right.
You know, when we're leaving the studio, did you get closer or further away from your goals? Ask yourself that. And I always ask myself, I always visit, and I like to call it take inventory. I think that's how I push myself a little more. Take inventory of what we're doing physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
Right.
That can make you a person in all areas of your life, a better husband, a better friend, a better coach, a better owner, a better manager. So ask yourself, what are you doing? How would you like to improve, and how could you implement that day by day?
Man, I mean, this is an area where I probably fall short, honestly, right? I get so into a routine, and just like, for me, it's pounding out deals, right? I got to go through the deals, boom, 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 boom. And for those of you that know my business, I'm a volume guy. I do big volume of real estate.
Non-stop. I love it. The unrelenting effort. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Like, let's be relentless. But I think the trap that you've hit, nail on the head here is that you don't even realize you're getting comfortable in your routine.
100%.
Right? Because you're just going through the motions. I got to do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. When was the last time you took an inventory, you, the listener, you, me, you, everybody, you know what I mean? The universal you, of how you're going through your day, how you're interacting with your spouse.
Absolutely.
How you're showing up for your kid. Exactly. Whatever that is for you, whatever is important. I just listed the things, obviously, that are important to me.
To you,
Right? But checking in, I love that you do that at some interval. You said you do it like every 6 weeks?
Every 6 weeks. So, and to kind of piggyback off what you're talking about there, the ebbs and flows is, for example, you can be cranking out deals, or you can be coaching classes. For an example for myself, you can be monotone. You can be high, but you can be monotone.
Yeah.
And the trend can be flat.
Yes.
The trend can be flat.
Preach.
But the trend, do you want it to go like this? Or do you want just to stay the same? So the ebbs and flows, ups and downs, everyone has their ups and downs, and everyone can get into a rhythm. But again, that new baseline, are you trending upwards? Or are you just being monotone, just being flat when you're down those deals? And so, for example, coaching, when I'm coaching 24, 26, 30, 42 classes a week.
Crazy people. This is crazy.
and it's safe to say I love what I do. So, But
wait, pause. How many, you've coached something like 40 billion classes. How many?
Oh, yeah. So I'm coming up on March 29th. Okay. I will have taught 7,000 OrangeTheory Fitness classes. 7,000 in 8 years. So that's a pretty, for me, a remarkable milestone, something that, again, just practice what I preach.
And I'm sorry to derail you, but I have to tell everyone, it's like a performance art too, right? So this man shows up. He shows up to these classes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is like a Broadway performer, someone that, there are people in that room, your audience, that this is their first time seeing you, right? So you can't not be on.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you are always coming with 100% effort. He walks out of that door right as class starts, and if you're in Long Island City, he's like, "What's up, I see." Here, do it. Give it to me.
So I'll come like all nonchalant. I'll look around, and people are like all tense. What's happening?
Yeah.
And they're like, and they start laughing, giggling. They know what's coming, but they don't know when. At the right moment, "What's up, LIC?"
He's
and
shouting.
And we're getting everyone going, just to get that surge of energy. And it's been, I have to, because if I don't do it, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" But something that I made a promise to myself when I first started coaching is when I was coaching, there was only 5, 6 people in a class back in Arizona, a newer studio when it wasn't as popular. I told myself, if there is only one person that shows up, I'm going to coach like there's 45 people in there.
Yeah.
No matter what. And I made a promise to myself and I stuck to that. So 4 people, 45 people, I'm going to give you my 100% effort no matter what.
Right. And I think people may underestimate just how hard that is.
Yes.
Okay. So you just said, the reason we got into this was the context of, I coach 20, 40 classes per week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If everyone out there now since COVID can say, I've been on a Zoom and I've had to present on a Zoom.
Yes.
Right. Pre-COVID, people never did that.
Correct.
Can you imagine coaching a fitness class, I think is akin to presenting on a Zoom because the feedback loop is not very intense. I find myself in your classes, I am totally with this guy in my head, but nothing on my face or me, there's no verbal that gives you, the instructor, the sense that I'm with you, right? Because I'm just going through my workout or I'm really trying to push myself or whatever. It must be extremely challenging to show up with that 1,000% effort hour after hour after hour. And it's it's a new class every time. It's a new opportunity for that person that walked into OrangeTheory the first time to see how you do things.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you keep up that energy?
So one thing is going back to taking inventory.
Yeah.
I was asking myself, if I have 7 classes that day, 8 classes, 4 classes, I always ask myself, can I coach my last class like I can coach my first class?
Okay.
If the answer is no, then I got to adjust something. I have to adapt. But if the answer is yes, then that's a promise I made to myself and to the members. So if I know that if I can coach the last class like the first class, then that's how I'm going to go about it. With the feedback, in the beginning, I was always trying to rush through the coaching because I knew no one was going to answer. I knew everyone was, some members are going to be intimidated, but then I thought, well, then that's not helping anyone, not creating space. So even though I don't get a lot of feedback, a lot of responses where it's any questions? Cricket. Okay. And then there's a bunch of questions. I start the first mock. But just giving that opportunity to show members that, hey, if there is ever a question they really want to answer, that they know that they're going to get that opportunity in my classes anyways. Also, too, it's just great to pause for a moment to let that sink in as well. I think that's something that I've really learned to condition for members to want to perform to their best. And when it comes, because there's a lot of information sometimes, those workouts. And then when we have 45 people and I'm going over the treadmills, the floor, the weight room, and then I ask questions at the end, I stop. Any questions? Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Head nods. And sometimes I joke about it too in class. But at the end of the day, it's that they know that if they can't ask questions, that it's totally there and the opportunity will always be there so they don't feel intimidated. So they feel like if he's not going to make me feel a certain way if I do have a question that other members may not have. Right. Yeah. But it's definitely tough. Definitely tough. You don't get that feedback.
But I love what you said. And I love this concept for entrepreneurs out there that we have to make sure that we show up, right, for our clients as if it's their first experience with us all the time. And we have to level up and we have to make sure we're not getting too comfortable, right? And question ourselves, what can I do better to expand? And like you said, if I'm at a plateau, because I'm just going through the motions of things, how can I take inventory and say, hey, maybe I don't want to just go through things and I need to take a second and think to myself, how can I expand? How can I push myself out of this comfort zone of just deals, and maybe come up with a bigger idea that leads me somewhere else?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just taking inventory and just sitting back and just taking time to think about if you're happy and enjoy what you're doing, which you may not be, and that's something you should really check in with yourself, with anyone's listening or watching. You just definitely check in and understand that, hey, is this really what I want to do? Am I just doing it just because I'm doing it? Or am I just doing it because I'm trying to accomplish it? Am I trying to take a step closer to what I want to accomplish or a goal? And if not, then learn, maybe it's just a different approach, just a different thing you do every single day. And that's one thing I really want anyone to understand is that does it have to be dramatic? You don't have to quit your job or have to go sign up for a marathon the next day.
Right.
Just take a walk outside. Right. Sometimes you're cranking out deals, cranking deals. Maybe when's the last time you went on lunch and just took a walk outside?
Oh, Jesse, don't ask me that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yikes, truth.
Yeah.
A lot of truth here. All right, so I like that. I think that that's one challenge we can all accept.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? Maybe we can't do the 75 hard, but we can say, hey, how can I push myself a little bit out of this comfort zone?
Or create your own 5-step challenge, 5 daily task challenge. Maybe just take a walk outside.
Right.
Drink, drink 2 cups of water before noon.
Right.
Or make sure.
What is it for you? Right.
Yeah.
How do you push that?
Exactly. Tailor to you and what's going to push those limits, that new baseline that you're trying to condition and cultivate.
What's your why for why you do, or like why Orange Theory? Why opening up these new studios? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish with all this? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I wanted to ask this, but now it came to me.
I think in the beginning, the why changes. That's one thing. The why is always change, and that's totally okay. So if your why changes, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely adapt. And in the beginning, it still is that wanting to expand and reach as many people, to change as many lives as I can through fitness, through what I'm passionate about.
Nice. Share
Share that passion through fitness and being able to hopefully inspire to change something with your fitness journey. As I got into being an entrepreneur, I do enjoy finding new ways to expand my why and be able to inspire change through fitness. And I thought through entrepreneur, which by the way, I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. I thought I was going to be a coach.
Right.
I thought I was going to be a salesperson and just do sales and just coach. But as I learned how to adapt, learn to expand, learn to get to know the members and not just take it where you're trying to expand in a capacity where you're trying to collect everything, but to learn about yourself.
Interesting.
And I think that's one thing that's passionate is learning about yourself and learning what you're capable of, learning how you can enhance your capabilities, maximize your potential, and to grow every day. And I'm able to do that with my businesses. I'm able to, not just with members, but with myself, with my coworkers and my staff, my partners. And I learn something new every day when I walk through those doors of Orange Theory. But I guess to be more specific is, again, I want to be a part of something that's bigger than myself. Yeah. And I think Orange Theory has given me the opportunity to do that. Yeah. And I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity, and I'm just getting started. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm just getting warmed up.
That was awesome. I mean, I feel I am pumped up just like I've taken a class. I'm like, woo, that was a great session with Jesse. As always, Jesse, before we go, a little bit of a fire round for you of questions. I am always curious because I like to eat out a lot. I spend way too much money, admittedly, on dining in New York City. What is your favorite New York City restaurant?
I mean, a little biased because I'm in Queens, Ruta. On Broadway. Okay. Because I love mezcal. And but I don't know it. But Ruta, it's on 35th and Broadway in Astoria. And one of the reasons why, they have great food, they have great drinks, but the staff, they embody everything I look for in our studios. The staff, the manager, we know each other by first name. There you go. It's just a great experience every time. So Ruta and Astoria, got to check it out. Okay, I'm there. When people come and visit you in New York City, what is your New York City secret spot that you take them to? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what? That's a tough one because I don't. I feel like everything people know because I'm like I'm not a New Yorker. I've been here for about 6 years, so I think there's a lot of hidden. Almost. I mean, I heard like 10 years, but it depends on what you're looking for. Whether you want a Greek restaurant or if you're looking to dance a little bit or if you want a rooftop vibe. I think I have a category for each one. So it depends on the vibe. It kind of depends. Yes. Are you a dancer? I'm not a dancer, but I do like just moving the body, just being out there. All right. Moving the body. It may not be the prettiest, but I can move these hips. I can move these hips. Whoa, these hips don't lie. All right. Yeah. What would you tell yourself? Okay, here we are. It's 3 to 5 years ago. I have a camera on you. What would you, right now, I'm saying to you, what would you tell Jesse 5 years ago? What would you tell him? What I would tell him is to trust in your decision-making, be confident in when you're making decisions, and to trust your instincts, and not to doubt yourself when you're presented with opportunities, decisions, and that you know what you're doing. You just got to trust in that decision. Nice. Yeah. Nice. We can all learn from that one. Yeah. Okay, that hit me a little bit. Okay, and I'm also very passionate about investing monetarily. Yeah. What's the best money management tip that you use for yourself or that has been great for you that you want to share with the listeners? Yeah, you said there, I don't save to save, I save to invest, and which is exactly what I do with my business, my Orange Theory Studios.
Yeah.
To save and have all this, your money in the bank, what is it doing? What's the intention behind that? So what I do is I have my plan of where I allocate my money, but with the money that's saved over, I don't just save to save, I save to invest. And all the money that I do make from coaching or whatever the case may be, I reinvest it back in the studio. It goes back into my businesses.
And you open another one.
And open another one.
Yeah.
Coming soon, 𝐷𝐿. So.
𝐷𝐿, yes. And lastly, your favorite book?
My favorite book, I think my favorite book was when I was finishing my 75 Hard.
Okay.
And a member in Astoria, Lisa, as a gift, I think it was for my birthday, she gave me a book. It was Think Again by Adam Grant.
Okay.
Just a paradigm shift, a perspective shift, and how I go about my day-to-day activities in life was just a great eye-opener and just a great mind blower. So
nice.
Adam Grant, Think Again.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I've heard of it, but now I'm gonna read it.
It's great. Yes, it's great.
Jesse, thank you so much for taking the time today. This has been awesome. I know I got a lot out of it, and I know our listeners will too. Everybody out there, the next time you want a fitness class, I implore you to take a class with this man at OrangeTheory Fitness, Long Island City, Astoria, or 𝐷𝐿 coming soon.
Coming soon. Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited that we were able to do this. And,
yes.
We should definitely do this again soon. This was a lot of fun.
Yes. #ClimateChange. See you next time.